name's Jessie Hobson with CineDump.com. We do movie reviews, interviews, kind of with anything that's kind of happening that's not getting the appreciation that it needs to. How would you, for someone that doesn't know who you are, how would you kind of describe who you are? Because looking you up when you Google yourself, it's kind of all over the place, which is cool. But at the same time, how do you put that into fewer words for someone to understand?
Yeah, it's a little complex to cite a short biography, but basically I was first known for being the front man of a band called Ghoultown, and then some years ago I began writing for the horror magazine Rue Morgue, and then wrote a book on the subject of unexplained creature sightings. Since then I've written several other books and been involved in some documentaries on the same subject with creatures like Bigfoot, Mothman, cryptozoology. So I'm basically a musician, author, and cryptozoologist, to put it shortly.
So to kind of go more so into the movie realm, or like the media realm, what would you say is where did that start? Like, how did that passion begin for you?
Well, I mean, I've always been a fan of horror movies since far back as I can remember, and I loved movies that, or films like the Patterson-Gimlin film, or old movies, Legend of Boggy Creek, that had, based on real life sightings of unexplained creatures, mostly in the woods. And in the course of becoming an author and subsequently appearing on some television shows which covered the same subjects and wanted to feature me as a commentator on these sort of subjects, that got me involved in doing some film work. And then I met up with some guys from Ohio that have a company called Small Town Monsters, and they were launching some documentaries on these sort of unexplained creature cases from around the U.S. And so we collaborated to do a film called Boggy Creek Monster, which discussed the history and sightings of a creature known as the Fouke Monster, or the Boggy Creek Monster, which was made famous by the old movie The Legend of Boggy Creek. So that's when I kind of got into the film part of it. I was the narrator, and I've co-written some of the scripts, and then we did one on Mothman, which I just screened here at Texas Frightmare Weekend. So that's I love the kind of the documentaries that you can do now with the technology available to bring some of these stories to the screen that I think are spooky and scary. And I mean, this isn't made up. This is people saying they saw some quote-unquote real-life monster.
Yeah, especially considering a lot of the footage you guys get, it's almost scarier because it is real, and some of the footage you guys get it's almost too good. Like it just kind of sells the story that much more.
Yeah.
How much time goes into like a production like that? Because I mean, you can kind of put a number on like a big or a time limit on a big budget, but with something that's so real, it's almost like the story's always going.
It is, and it's like, if you try to say how long did it take you to make one of these documentaries, well, if you condense it down to say, boots on the ground kind of work, maybe 3 or 4 months, which is a relatively short period of time, but it's a lot longer than that, because like for myself, if I'm brought on board to work on this movie, I have years of research into, say, the Boggy Creek case, and I have developed a relationship with witnesses and people who say they saw it. So that can be years worth of time invested into that, so that when it's okay, hey, we're going to make a documentary on this, I can phone up, I say, I've got the good witnesses, hey, we're going to make a film, would you mind being on camera? And then it tells itself, because these witnesses are telling you these creepy stories, and then it's just a matter of filming them on film and getting good audio, and then it's almost like we're just a vehicle to tell their story.
Yeah, and the last time we spoke, you were about to head into Huntsville, Texas, for a Bigfoot, I believe, convention, and then also now we're at Texas Frightmare. Are you located in Texas?
Yeah. I live here very near Dallas, between Dallas and Fort Worth. So There's been a number of these Bigfoot conferences that have developed. I mean, they're all over the country, and more and more people are showing up. 1,000 people showed up at the one in Huntsville, and that was the first year the event had ever happened. And so those are great. Of course, at that, I'm a featured speaker and stuff. That's my world.
Yeah.
Here at Frightmare, I love doing the horror conventions, and this is my. It's been running 13 years. This is my 12th year.
Oh, wow.
Either have a table as Ghoultown or as me, Lyle Blackburn. So I've always been a part of this. It's my hometown horror convention, and I love being a part of it.
So keeping that in mind, would you say that there's like any benefit? I mean, obviously you stuck around in Texas. Do you have any plans to further like your reach, or like do you plan to maybe move out of here, or are you here to stay? Like, because it's been pretty good to you so far.
Oh yeah, it's definitely. I'm a Texan, and I kind of reflect that image almost with the black hat and stuff. Maybe this part of me, and I love living here. It is really a great launching point for a lot of access to a lot of places, and I kind of consider myself a southern. I like the southern legends. I like that angle of them, that the southernness is. And I've been all over the South, the deep South. To my latest book, Beyond Boggy Creek, covers 10 states worth of historical sightings of hairy man-like creatures. So, and I've been to every single state.
Oh wow! Yeah.
In some capacity, to the locations where the reports were, or to interview witnesses, or just to see the landscape. So Texas is a great, kind of central location to be able to explore the whole southern gamut of legends and sightings of creatures.
Well, to wrap up here, because it looks like we're building a little bit of a line. Did you have anything that you want to promote? I know you guys screened your most recent movie, but is there anything coming out or anything on the tip of your tongue that you want to talk about?
Well, yeah, there's always something in the works, and you can check out all my stuff at lyleblackburn.com. The next documentary that I'm going to be involved in is on the famous Beast of Bray Road case, which is sightings of a werewolf or dogman-like creature out of Wisconsin. And that, dude, I am such a werewolf fan and love all werewolf movies, and now we're making a documentary about people saying they literally saw what can only be described as a werewolf, a bipedal canine creature. So I'm really excited to work on that, and we're going to kind of use a Hammer horror film vibe on it, and that'll be the next film. And I'm working on a new book, so yeah, just check out the website, and there's always something happening.
Excellent, man. Well, I definitely appreciate your time, and we'll wrap it up.
Thanks.
Oh my.